friends, and welcome back to the Called to Lead podcast. So, in today's episode, I want to address one of the things about the network marketing industry that is both good and can sometimes be challenging, and that is the freedom that is found in how we spend our time, how we make and spend our money, how and where we can market our business, and how and where we can work our work environment or the spaces in which you work. And so today in this episode, I want to break down a few things, what it looks like to actually have freedom in your business at different levels of your business, how you can set some boundaries around making sure that you take advantage of the freedom for its benefits, not for its faults, and just give you some hopefully tactical tips that you can apply to your business model wherever you are, whether you're looking to become a network marketing leader or you are a network marketing leader to find a better balance. No matter where you are in the business, I hope that this episode will be helpful for you today. Are you dreaming of making a long-term income and impact beyond your own efforts, but feel like you're struggling to replicate your results? I'm Heather, a former burned-out boutique owner turned top network marketing leader, and I've learned the hard way that you don't have to do all the things all on your own. Now, my passion is helping social sellers scale their business by choosing faith over fear and using simple, duplicatable systems without having to sell your soul to social media. I'm so excited to share with you simple tips, tricks, and tools to help you take your business to the next level. In each episode, I'll share faith-focused wisdom, proven systems that your team can duplicate, and inspiring stories from other leaders who have been right where you are today. Are you ready to grow your team, find joy and fulfillment, and feel free? Break out your favorite pen and notebook, and let's dive in. So, have you ever wondered what freedom actually looks like in network marketing or as a network marketing leader? Or are you considering joining a network marketing company, but you want to kind of know a little bit more about what you can expect when it comes to the freedom aspect of it? Or are you already in network marketing and you aren't necessarily experiencing the freedom that you had hoped for in this business? So, I'm going to be talking about 4 different areas where we have all the freedom in the world within this business model of network marketing, direct sales, social selling, whatever you want to call it. And those 4 key areas are time, space, or your work environment, money, and how and where you market your business. And so before I get into those, diving into the good and the bad of the freedom in those 4 areas, I wanted to share a little bit of the inspiration behind this episode. So, if you listen to the last episode, episode 58, all about finding and really diving into a word of the year, you know, my word of this year is freedom. And I think it's so funny that when I went back to my list of episodes that I had brainstormed and the topics that had already come to my heart, this what does freedom look like in business was sitting there right there waiting for me, ready to go, because it's something that I hear a lot. And I just think it's something that's so relative to those who are looking to build a fulfilling business within network marketing. And certainly that is where I am in my business. I am very blessed that 6 years into the company that I'm with and 7 years total within the industry, I now can say that I do get to experience immense freedom in these areas, but that has its benefits and it has its downsides because essentially there I could, spend as much time as I want on my business. I can, work my business from anywhere. I can make as much money as I aim to make, right? And I can market my business in any number of different ways, from podcasts to Instagram to in person to YouTube to TikTok to online ads. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do this business model. And sometimes I think the fact that the sky is the limit and that we've got that kind of flexibility in the ways that we choose to spend our time, our money, where we choose to do our business, and the way we market ourselves online, I think that can sometimes lead to confusion and sometimes it can lead to inaction because we don't really know where we should be spending our time, energy, money, or any of those things, right? And so I wanted to tackle each of these areas a little bit deeper today and share specifically what it can look like in business when you do it the right way. So we'll start first with your time because essentially we all have the same 24 hours to work with. Every one of us, every single person on this planet, whether you are a top leader in network marketing, whether you are working multiple jobs, whether you've got 1 kid, 5 kids, whether you're a CEO of a business, whether you're a professional athlete, we all have 24 hours in a day. It's how we choose to spend that 24 hours in the day that says a lot about what your priorities are. And you can simply analyze by looking at your calendar or looking at the commitments that you have made, some good and probably some that, might need to be reevaluated, but you can really look and see where your priorities are by what you've said yes to and how you're choosing to spend your time. And when it comes to network marketing, depending on where you are, you might only have a little bit of extra time that you can see to fit in your business. Or if you're like me and your kids are in school all day long and I've got a solid at least 6 hours where I can work and the sky's again kind of the limit. So wherever you are on that spectrum, spending your time and spending it wisely is one of the hard parts about this business is because there's so much freedom in that. And so what I want you to do first and when you're looking to exemplify freedom in this area is I want you to again categorize the ways that you're spending your time and equate that back to the things that are the biggest priority in your life. So if you do have a family and that hopefully is a huge priority for you in your life, you don't want to sacrifice that time that you're spending with them, whether that's a vacation time, a dedicated time, or maybe it's taking weekends to spend with them, or whether it's that precious time at dinner time where your kids are sharing about their day, or whether you get to have that little date night with your hubby. That time that you spend on that is invaluable, and it's not something that you want to mix or to integrate in with the time that you are working. However, if you have any sort of job or any sort of business, and ultimately, if you want to be a leader, a top leader in network marketing, you've got to treat your business like a business. You've got to be open for business. You have to work on your business. Doesn't have to be, for hours and hours a day. And sometimes I would even say if you are spending a full-time effort on your business, you might be doing too much, to be honest. And you might be using, as I've been before, you might be using the time that you spend on your work as an escape from other things, just like some people escape to alcohol or escape to social media. Your escape might be work. And if you are spending that much time all day long on your network marketing business, then you might want to reevaluate. Like, is this serving you? Is it serving your family? Is it fitting in with the additional priorities of what your life looks like? But if you are looking to build a business that is going to change the life of your family and is going to allow you to be able to have that vacation or go on that date night at the nice restaurant with your husband, or to be able to buy your kids, the present for their birthday, then you can set some clear boundaries, even if you have little kids at home, to get some work done while they're at nap time, or to say, okay, like last night, I had a call with my direct artist, and I said to my daughter, who loves it when I put her to bed, it's not quite the same when her daddy does it. And, I told her, I said, okay, mama's gonna pop up and do this Zoom. And she was like, "Oh." And I said, well, baby, it's just once a month that I do this. And, I'll be back up to give you a kiss afterwards. And they know because they've heard my heart in exemplifying what it looks like to be able to have a business that allows us the freedom to be able to travel and spend time with them and to be able to shut it down for, days or weeks at a time. That sometimes that is going to involve the sacrifice of me spending an hour on a Zoom at night, right? Or being able to, or taking the time to go to our company conference, our annual conference, things like that. It's hard to step away from your family and spend your time in that way, but it's essentially an investment in your business and you're treating your business like a business. So when it comes to your time, you really want to evaluate, like, are you spending hours a day binge watching Netflix shows? And not that there's anything wrong with watching TV. I actually did work a lot yesterday and was on Zoom for quite a bit. And so I kind of crashed in the bed and watched a few episodes of Dream Home Makeover and literally fell asleep. And so was that a good use of my time in that moment? Yes, because I had gotten the things I needed to get done that day. I needed some time to just zone out and decompress, and watching a couple of episodes on Netflix was a great way to do that. But if I'm spending, hours every single night doing that, getting sucked into one of the shows that's on there, when it's taking me away, like if I had chosen to do that instead of having the call for my direct artists last night or my direct distributors last night, then, again, it's where am I putting my priorities? Where am I putting my time? Right. So, freedom in the area of your time, it all comes down to how and where you spend your time. And you've heard me talk about this before, but I'm a big fan of time blocking. And I do mine digitally on my iCal on my app, and I even color code it. I do green for family, I do brown for family important, I do pink for anything that's work related, and I do blue for anything that's personal. And for example, last year, or maybe it was the year before, I knew I needed to spend more time on things for myself, which is funny. I remember telling my husband that and he kind of rolled his eyes like, okay. But I knew that I needed to increase that blue area and kind of decrease the pink areas. Whereas now I feel in this season called to soar, as I've mentioned in several past episodes, to where, if I've got a little bit more pink in my day, as long as I'm not overdoing it or as long as it's not taking away from the other priorities in my life, then I know that I have got the freedom and the ability and the inspiration to do that, right? So that's the area of time and how freedom can be a good thing and not such a good thing depending on where you are in your life. So if you are feeling like you are, again, you only have a little tiny bit of time, can you wake up an hour earlier to fit in the time? Can you stay up an hour later and knock out some things? I've heard of like spending the time it takes, like the toilet time. I can't remember who it is, but maybe it's Fraser Brooks that teaches on like the time it takes you to literally go to the bathroom is about the time that you could shoot over a message to check on one of your customers or to check in on with one of your leaders. And so a lot of the things that bring you the most value in your business in the journey that we call network marketing, they really don't take that much, right? So spend your time wisely, really evaluate how you're spending it and embrace the fact that we do have freedom, but also embrace the fact that you should be spending your time wisely in those areas. So, the second area is money. So, the coolest thing about this business model is there's not necessarily a limit to what you can earn here. Your comp plan of your company has a clear outline of how you can make money, usually in a few ways, one from your personal sales, and second from your downline. And then sometimes there's additional ways to do it too. But basically, one is tied to your personal effort, one is tied to the efforts of others, and that one can feel a little bit more difficult to control. But essentially, when I think back to the 6 years in my company and my business, if I truly spent my time, going back to the time, doing exactly the same things I did maybe in those first 3 years of my business, if I went back to doing those exact same things in the next 3 years of my business, I think it would have the same impact and I could probably double my income. And so I'm thinking and praying about that. Like, what were those things that I did in that season of growth? And yes, now that I am at a higher level and have that, I'm very content with where I am. Sometimes it is easy to battle that contentment versus complacency, especially given that, again, the sky's the limit. So instead of the way that I kind of keep myself grounded, especially as a believer, is I try not to make the money my goal. I try to make instead the impact that it can have on myself or the impact or my family and more important, the impact that can have on others. And so what I mean by that is, for example, we spent the holidays in Costa Rica, and that is something that our entire family just absolutely connects on. I felt like a totally different person being able to totally check out and be fully immersed in that beautiful country and just be with my family. And so that's something that we want to be able to do more of for the future and essentially kind of retire together in Costa Rica. But guess what? That's going to take some money. And we want to buy a big sport fish boat to be able to have down there and, be able to do all the things and, be able to, again, retire and have that. But it does take a level of income in order to do those things. But it will impact our family in so many different ways. And then the other best part about this business model when it comes to actually making money is the best way to win is to help other people win. So I've talked about and I've learned a long time ago that instead of necessarily focusing on my own personal goals, when I look to the leaders that have, or, the artists that have entrusted me as their mentor, and I focus on how I can help serve them, pour belief into them, pour encouragement into them, and again, spend my time wisely, that in turn results in the additional income for myself and my family. So the money thing, it can be a little bit tricky because, there's nothing wrong with making money. It just makes you more of who you are. And money, again, it's amoral. It's not that money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. So instead of setting your sights on the endless amounts of money, because guess what? That's the other thing that freedom gives you is a lot of times when you start to make money in this business, sometimes it's more than you could have ever dreamed of making, but it's not as much as somebody else is making, right? And so what do? You live in the gap from where you are right now with your income to where you want to be or to where you hoped you would be or to where you know that you can be one day instead of living in the gain from when you started. And I love that book, The Gap and the Gain. Y'all have heard me talk about it before, but if you're struggling with this, definitely listen to and read that book and do it again if you need to. But essentially, being grateful for the money that you the additional income that this business can provide you wherever you are right now. And then again, instead of being motivated by the actual dollar amount or the actual amount of your bonus, shift your energy and your focus on the dreams that you have for your family and for yourself and for your life 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And those dreams and those tangible hopes and goals that you set, they're going to be the things that drive you to spend the time. So that is where those two kind of integrate together. So that's kind of the freedom of the financial aspect of this business, and where again it can kind of be both good and kind of be both bad, or kind of be bad. So next is marketing. So a lot of you guys have been listening to this podcast since it was called the Scale Without Social podcast, which is kind of I don't want to say clickbait, but it's kind of like, oh wow, can you really scale and grow your business without social media? Well, technically you kind of can, because there is freedom and there are a million different ways that you can run your network marketing business. Again, you can do ads, you can do in-person events, you can do pop-up events, you can do online classes, you can do Facebook marketing, you can do Instagram, you can do TikTok, you can do YouTube. I guess you could do a podcast. There's so many different ways that you can market your product and market your business. And again, this is not, network marketing has been around for generations, and people have been successful in doing this business any number of ways. So then the challenge when it comes to the freedom of being able to do your business in any or all of these places is that we tend to become overwhelmed and burned out by trying to do all of them. So I'm going to be doing an entire episode coming up on how to know which path to pick when it comes to marketing your business, whether that is social media or a specific area of social media, I would even say, because social media is so broad now. And again, we've talked about, like, is YouTube even considered social media? I still kind of feel like not so much, because it's so different than a lot of the comparison aspects of something like Instagram. And then even if you look at building using the power of short form video, it's going to be different, the strategy that you're going to use on YouTube versus TikTok versus Instagram or whatever comes out next, because there's always going to be something different around the corner, right? And so this freedom is both good because you can choose. You get to decide how you want to work your business. You get to commit to whichever one serves your gifts, your skill sets, your passions, and that is a beautiful thing. But it also can be very overwhelming. The FOMO kind of kicks in when you hear, like, I'm actually diving more into YouTube and going to be doing some more content related channels around the makeup, and also being super intentional about putting my podcast episodes on YouTube. And so you might hear that, or see me doing this and think, oh gosh, now I need to start a YouTube channel. And I'm not saying you do, I'm not saying you don't. I'm saying if you feel inspired and if it suits your gifts and your skill sets in the way that I know that it does suit mine, and it's something that I actually feel like has been on my heart for years, then I say go for it. But guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to dive back in, at least not now. Thankfully, there's freedom in this. So if I ever choose to, I know that I have that freedom in this business, but I'm not going to do Instagram. I'm not going to do TikTok. Might do a teensy little bit on Facebook here and there with team trainings and things like that. But I'm going to focus all my energy on that one area and really learn how to do that and to do it well, and embrace the freedom that I have in operating my business in any way that I choose, knowing that it can inspire somebody else who wants to do their business in that way, as long as it's not overwhelming you or overwhelming someone else to where they think they need to do all the things, because you absolutely don't. In fact, that's almost a recipe for a lack of success, is if you try to be a jack of all trades. Now, I have seen actually some of the best leaders in this business model have actually tackled different paths or different areas of marketing very well at certain seasons in their business. So maybe they spend a year focused on doing online Facebook classes, and then they move over to Instagram and focused on creating valuable content to serve people in a certain niche over there. And they've been able to build massive businesses using multiple marketing platforms, but they're not trying to do all of it at one time, because if they were, it would be overwhelming. It would be just too much. So embrace the freedom and the fact that you can run your business in any way that you want, or you can market your business, I should say, in any way that you want, but just make sure to kind of pick your path, embrace your gifts and skill sets, and lean into what lights you up. And then finally, the coolest part about this business is you can work from anywhere. You can work if you choose on vacation, again, that's kind of the thing is like some vacations you'll want to. I'm going to be going on a cruise here in the next little bit. And because I had a really fulfilling time checking out with my family in Costa Rica over the holidays, I don't necessarily feel the need to completely unplug from my business. And I'm going to embrace that freedom that like I can work my business whenever I want to on that cruise ship. And so I'm just going with my cousin and her family. And I know that they won't mind if I, take some time here and there to catch up on some work related items. So you can work your business on vacation, but because you can, sometimes it can be tempting to be glued to your phone or bring your laptop. I made sure well, actually, I did bring my laptop to Costa Rica, but not because I was planning to work on it while I was there. But I did bring it for other reasons, just so we actually had a computer should we need it for other things, especially as we wrapped up the year's end. But I didn't intentionally use it in the ways that I usually would for my business. And so, when it comes to your space, again, it's not just the physical town that you're in or being able to travel or work from anywhere. You can go to Starbucks, you can go to an office, you can get a little studio, though you don't have to unless you want to. Most of us, however, work in our homes. We find a little space, whether that's a corner of our bedroom or the kitchen counter, or for me, I record my podcasts and my YouTube videos right up in my little guest bedroom. And it is kind of my little pseudo office, and it's great because I can actually even deduct the home expenses for this little home office because it's something that I use for my business. And so finding a dedicated space in your home or a working environment in your home for your business can be beneficial even financially because of the freedom. And some people even who have other jobs or who have other businesses that they do, starting a home-based business like a network marketing business can be a great tax write-off because again, you can deduct a portion of your household expenses that are relative to the space that you use for your business. Also, when it comes to the space or the working environment, I am so excited. In the next episode, I'm going to be interviewing a friend, Lauren White of the Intentional Edit podcast. And it's super important to be able to have a clutter-free, distraction-free environment to work your business, not just for yourself, because that is, as Lauren and I are going to talk about, it definitely opens up, the freedom of your mind to where you're not distracted by all the things that you need to do to straighten up your home or straighten up your office area. But it also serves and blesses your family because you don't have your stuff scattered all about because you have a dedicated area that's organized and that you can use, again, the freedom to be able to work your business anywhere in your home. And so, my friends, those are the four areas where you can experience freedom in your business in both good and bad ways. And I would love for, if I'm missing a different area or if you have any questions or any comments or ideas, I'm so excited to be shifting the Scale Without Social for Female Entrepreneurs community over on Telegram into the Called to Lead community. So you guys are totally welcome again, since especially this episode is talking about the freedom of being able to market your business on or off social media or wherever on different platforms. I want that to be a place for a community to come together of network marketing leaders who are trying to do their business in the right way to be able to share about all the things. And so I invite you to text the word podcast to my business cell, which is 912-405-8912. And you'll get a link to join that chat, that group. And that is just going to be a place where you can get updates for the episodes of this podcast. And again, you can connect with others who are on this journey as well. So hop on over into that group. You can also search it up by searching Called to Lead community over on Telegram, or you can go to t.me/called to lead community, and you can find it there as well. So thank you guys so much for listening. Can't wait to see you guys over there. And I hope you have a beautiful week.
I'm so grateful for your time with me today. Feel free to check out heatherkburge.com for all the scoop on all the things. Also, I've got a huge favor. If you found any value from today's episode, would you mind leaving me a quick review? Or even better, share with a friend by clicking those 3 little dots at the bottom of your screen. Sending you big hugs.